Lordy, 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 I love a reason to have a rant, and America, you're about to have another reason for me to have a rant. Okay, so let's just establish a couple of facts here. Last Friday, there was just a generally appalling incident that should never have happened in the history of America. But, unfortunately, as much as I can go on and on and on and say that, it has happened, okay? So we need to yeah, that happened. But there are now going to be arguments and debates and people falling out and everything over such a simple issue. The issue, of course, for now, is gun control. Whether you sit on the side of the fence where you're going, well, actually, yes, we should have guns, or whether you sit on the side of the fence that's going, actually, no, we shouldn't have. Now, I can perfectly see both sides of the argument, and some sides of the arguments, they do make sense. So let's have a little look into it. If you're on this side and you don't support gun control, your argument's going to be kind of like, we shouldn't allow guns in society. We should have them taken away from people because people cannot be trusted with them. If guns hadn't have been out there, if gun control had been stricter, if they're going to still allow guns out, this incident probably wouldn't have happened. But it's the fact that literally anyone can get a gun that this incident has been allowed to happen. If, though, you're sat on the side of the fence, which is that side, where you think that guns should be in the public hands, then your argument probably is going to sound a little bit like this. It's actually quite obvious, the fact that we should allow people to have guns, the general public to have guns, because if more sane people had guns, then that person who went into the school, he'd have been shot straight away, and you wouldn't have like 20 children who are now no longer with us. The 6 adults would probably still be with us. The incident wouldn't have happened or gone as far as it did happen. Gun control is there for controlling the population of animals, species that can cause problems to crops and nature. Now, genuinely, those are some of the arguments which I've been seeing about all over the internet within the past couple of days. Now, let me get a couple of things straight here with my point of view. While I'm fortunate enough to actually be able to sit in the middle and say, this incident is completely crazy and it shouldn't have ever happened, I can see both sides of the argument. And yes, there are points on either side which go, that's worth keeping in mind. The thing is that if gun control was done properly, if it was a lot more harder to get a gun, then, yeah, possibly the incident wouldn't have happened. But I want to draw you to a case which happened not that long ago here in the UK, in actually a town not that far away from me. But the incident was that a man who actually had a license to have a gun to do with like animal control and generally hunting, he actually owned 7 guns. Now, this is done legally. He had all the correct licenses for it. They'd been issued to him, blah, 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 blah. He shot his family dead. So, can he really be trusted? One of the main arguments that people say in this thing is that, more sane people should have guns. Well, define a sane person to me. Because I think kind of everyone in this planet has got a different idea of what actually constitutes as being sane or insane. We've all got different boundary lines here. You try and define me yours. I am kind of sat more towards the side of the fence which is going, yeah, actually, we need to be having a look at guns and maybe taking them off the streets. Because the fact is that, over here in the UK, where I can't walk into a shop and get a gun, firstly because I don't know where the fucking shop is, but second of all because you can't just have one to have one, we have a lot less violent gun crime over here than what America does. And it's not to say that because we don't have legal guns here that gun crime is completely eradicated. It's not, and it never will be. Possibly having guns invented was possibly the worst invention in the world. But we have to face the fact that guns are available. People can easily get guns, no matter where you are in the world. Now, the reason that I say take them off the streets is because look at the case last Friday, right? One of the basic facts that we know is that the guns actually belong to his parents. They legally owned that gun. He was, from what I heard about an hour or so ago on the news, is that he actually went to a gun store to try and get his own gun, but he was told he'd have to wait like, what, 2 weeks for the past checks or something like that. The fact is, he would have probably still been approved for his own gun. That's the truth about it. And yet, look what happened, you know? He would genuinely have been approved for a gun, and then he's gone and done something like that. So what are these validation checks that America is doing? It's not only that, but if the guns weren't there in the first place, this wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. You know? It's absolutely crazy. And, you know, I'm not just referring to the incident, I'm referring to everything here with guns at the moment. You know? For a while you had people who refused to go to cinemas because they were frightened that when the film started, someone's going to walk in and shoot you dead, right? You've now got kids afraid to go to school because, you know what, someone's going to break into your school and they're going to shoot you dead. Where does this end? You know, do you have to have it that literally people are afraid to leave their own homes for fear of being shot dead? Is that what you want to get to, America? This is a really difficult video because, you know, when I go off and do all these ranty videos, I always get to the end point and I'm just like, you know what, I really want to finish off with like a positive message on this or like a final spin on this, but I genuinely find it hard for this because obviously the incident is going to be that fresh in your mind at the moment that the only thing you'll be able to think about is the fact that there's 26 people dead because of gun crime. The only thing that I can say is that, you know what, this isn't worth losing your friends and family over. If someone that you know is passionate about legalizing guns for everyone and you're dead set against it, well, that person's always held them views anyway. This isn't anything new. The only thing that you can do is that if it does go to a vote, vote with your heart. If, you know, if you can contact like Obama's administration, whatever it is, and say, I support you trying to get guns off the streets, do it. This is going to be an important thing, but just remember, right, over here in the UK, we've not had any incidents recently where someone has been shot in a cinema and been killed. We've not had 26 people in a primary school or elementary school, whatever you call it. We've not had 26 people die because someone broke in with a gun. Do your own research on this thing. It's a very interesting topic, but all as I can say is, whatever side of the fence you sit on, good luck.